how are you? It's Travis in here, and welcome back to our adventures with the Hardcore Warrior.
Hello.
Today, we are back in Undercity, guys. We will be heading back to the Eastern Plaguelands. It was a scary episode last episode. We almost died. Well, maybe. It's not really. We DC'd. Didn't almost die, but anytime there's a DC, you always think, like, hey, maybe this is it. But we're okay. It was on our end. The internet just decided to turn off. And that's hardcore, right? It's what you sign up for. Sometimes you just DC and hopefully you get lucky. I've gotten lucky a few times in this run. One in Stranglethorn Vale, we were fighting a troll and I DC'd. And then, I think that was the only one. There might have been another one. And then there was the one last episode. But here we are. We're on our way back to the Eastern Plaguelands. Hopefully the Maggot Slime debuff is almost gone by the time we get there. And hopefully we can get level 58 today, or at least close to it. We're 3 bars away. 3 bars takes a while, though. Death card Lundmark. I hope you guys are doing well today. I'm doing pretty good. Heard some interesting news about the Pokemon World Championships. I think it's like for the card game. It's like a TCG World Championship. There's vendors there selling limited edition items, and supposedly it is turning into like a Black Friday event, not like an event that it was supposed to be, which is an enjoyable, event for people to watch the World Championships, maybe buy a few things, souvenirs. It's not that way at all. It's turned into a scalper haven. Looks like it's Black Friday. People are shoulder to shoulder fighting over limited supply stuff to sell on, eBay and in the open market. Pokemon is a very popular resell brand. I know when Costco ever has their, they have their Pokemon packs, scalpers line up and just try to buy them all out, or as many as they can. Pretty brutal. Not a fan of it. It kind of ruins the event. Like, imagine you bring your kids there and there's just a bunch of scalpers just trying to buy stuff. Kid just wants to watch the tournament. Here we go. And Steam's been getting cracked down on recently by payment processors like Visa, PayPal, even MasterCard, over the sale of spicy games. Makes sense. I'm not too sure what my take is on that. But I can understand why payment processors are going after it. Supposedly, like, a bunch of people brought it up to Visa. And, or MasterCard as well, and then they took action. And there's like a lawsuit going on about it. I think the main, and then the same thing's going on with Roblox. There's like issues with Roblox, and you know, bad actors playing that game. This, you know what this is all leading to, though? It's going to lead into internet identification. Like, you have to identify yourself on Steam. You have to identify yourself, you know, on Roblox. If you're a child, you'll need your parent to identify themselves, and then I think they should have, I don't know how Roblox is, I never played it, but I would assume they should have, you know, underage servers where only underage kids can play, and then they're monitored by a team that gets paid by in Roblox, and then that team's monitored as well. So, like, you know, suspicious stuff can't happen. And then the same thing with Steam, right? Like, you want to make sure the kids who have Steam can't access those games, right? Or under a certain age bracket of games. It's all going to lead to identification, which is good and bad. It sucks because there's going to be no more anonymity on the internet eventually, I think. But that's kind of it's where it's leading to, in my opinion. And it's like that for, oh crap. For, like, any exchange you try to join. For, like, trading, you know, stocks or crypto, you have to identify yourself. That's probably what's going to happen with games, maybe. Like, stocks and crypto exchanges make sense because, you know, you're going to get, it's for tax purposes. this is kind of, I don't know, this is kind of interesting. It's going to be all about security, making sure kids are secure, but people are going to lose a lot of freedom and anonymity or whatever. These companies just have to be willing to pay people to, like, just game masters, you know what I mean? It seems like it's such, like, an old thing now. Like, is there any game masters in WoW? Like, you know? Remember that was a thing? They could, like, teleport to you, and if you have a problem, they just make sure the server's being run well. If like, somebody's, like, acting out of line in chat, you know, they can tell them to stop, or we're gonna kick you, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta bring that back to games, man. But these companies don't want to pay for that stuff. They just get, these bots to track what people are saying, or track reports and stuff, and if enough people report you, you get banned right away, even if it's, like, malicious reporting. It's not like real people anymore. Clear okay here, that's kind of a big fear. We'll lose this debuff in 8 minutes. No, see what happens. Clearly changes are gonna happen. I'm sort of wondering if this is like Microsoft attacking Steam. it's a complete conspiracy theory, but Steam's making their own operating system that's going to compete with Windows, which is probably one of like Microsoft's main sources of income, I would assume. And a lot of people are there's a lot of good publicity around Steam's operating system, especially for gamers. Let's get ourselves a food buff here. But that's just a conspiracy theory. I don't... I just made that up, but who knows? It was just strange because Steam was getting such good publicity. And then this came out of nowhere. And they do have age of consent. Like, you have to be a certain age to, like, look at certain games. Just... It's mostly on the parents, I think. Right? Like, you gotta make sure your kids aren't signed up to Steam and other stuff like that as an adult, right? You gotta make sure they're putting in their proper age so Steam can keep them away from that kind of stuff. Oh, damn it, I'm trying to eat and we got this putrid bile on us. Forgot about that debuff. Can't eat or to gain health until we lose it. We'll just chill here. Got 5 minutes on this maggot slime. And there's another rumor going on. Supposedly Chris Hansen is planning a documentary on Roblox. I don't know if you guys know who Chris Hansen is, but he had a pretty funny show back in the day. To Catch a Predator. It's an interesting show. I always thought it was fake, but who knows? I won't go in too deep into it. But if he had a little Roblox thing going on, that would be kind of funny. I don't think Roblox would allow that, though. They're supposedly banning... They've been banning players or content creators who have been trying to catch, you know, various people like that. Because it's clearly bringing bad publicity onto their game. And I guess they don't want to deal with it. But they're going to have to. More dogs, we need just one more. I think we're kind of safe here. Yeah, I've always looked at games that were like Lego based, like Lego, Minecraft, like these games are just, I don't know why, but for my age group, which is like in our 30s, millennials, like none of my buddies played Minecraft or anything like that. We always looked at it like it was a game for kids. But like obviously, I think it's still looked at as a game for kids. Like you could say World of Warcraft's a game for kids too, but it was kind of looked like as a game that was for a younger crowd, right? So you would just avoid it. Roblox would be the same thing. But I guess, you know, there are kids now that have grown up with Minecraft and Roblox, and they're now adults. So it is now an adult game as well. Right? Because even though, like, they played it as when they were kids, it's now a nostalgic game for them. So, yeah, there's clearly a lot of adults playing the game now. And they need to find a way to separate. Separate the children and adults. And from what I've heard, like, Roblox is sort of like use map settings, and it ages me a little bit here. It's like use map settings in StarCraft or Warcraft 3. You know, those old use map settings games, like tower defense games, Dota All-Stars, right? Where Dota came from. That was a use map settings game in Warcraft 3. Hunter's got it so good, man. This guy's buffed up too, man. Rallying Cry Dragon Slayer with Spirit of Zandalar. Kind of jealous. Doesn't get that dirty 30-minute debuff from slaying these worms. I think I'm gonna save them for last. But yeah, it's sort of supposedly Roblox is like that. Then you could, but instead of them just being games you join, like in use map settings, you can join the game, you leave, everybody does their own thing. It's like a server. You're joining like a server, sort of like Doomhowl here. And like people might make their own games, and supposedly people monetize quite a bit. Make a lot of Roblox money or whatever, Robux or whatever it's called, from like making these games. Probably one of the most popular games in the world right now, right? Roblox and Minecraft. Yeah, I just hope Roblox deals with it in a legit way. But it's on the parents. All right, it's like you can't just always blame the company. Like if your kid is on the internet, you kind of need to know what they're doing. Or you need to at least tell them, like, don't talk to, you know, adults and strangers. Don't form relationships with strangers on the internet. If they tell you to go meet them, don't meet them. Like, don't turn your webcam on. Like, no webcam allowed. Like, it's like some rules you have to tell kids. This wasn't really a thing when I was a kid, though. You know what I mean? Like, there was, like, chats back then, I guess you could say. Like MSN and things like that. MSN Messenger. And like my parents, they were completely oblivious to what was going on with the internet back then. Like the parents of kids now, you would assume kind of know how the internet is. So I kind of put a little bit of the blame on the parents too. You should know like the games your kids are playing and what happens in the games they play. But I played games sort of like that where people could communicate with each other back in the day. Like I played a lot of StarCraft, Brood War, and you were in channels that were pretty much chats, but I never really ran into somebody that was nefarious in any sort of way. So I guess I got lucky. But you do make friends with people in those games when you're playing, you know, games online. Yeah, we'll move on. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. But it has been, I've been thinking about it a little bit. It sort of reminds me of the, the botting situation with real money trading. It's just such a hard thing to deal with. Like, how do you stop it? Without, having to access, like, so much information from your user base. Like, and then, like, invading, their privacy. Not too sure. That's something they'll have to figure out. Just gotta hope the government doesn't take over, because if the government does, it gets really bad. It just gets extreme. But that could happen. Oh, it's dirty gargoyles, man. Sneaking up on me. This is the number one mob here you gotta watch out for. And there's another, like, giant bat that roams around here. How many more bats do we need? Just like 9? 9 bats. Riot Games is totally cracking down on smurfing and account sharing. It's what people do. I don't know why people do this, but they pay people to play their account to get their rank up. It's called boosting, and Riot Games has been cracking down on it. Somebody that was like a booster, they make money off of it as like a side hustle, got upset with Riot about that on Twitter. And he said, like, he makes majority of his money from coaching and boosting, but most of it's from boosting, so what's he gonna do, just hang out at McDonald's? I think the guy might have been trolling, but like but then the Riot guy who works at Riot replied with a link to the McDonald's careers website. I was like, what the heck? Because, yeah, it's kind of tough making boosting a career, but I guess people could do it. I don't know how much money people make boosting League of Legends accounts, but maybe it's quite a bit. I know some of those accounts people sell. People sell accounts as well at certain levels, and with certain characters collected, skins, stuff like that. Supposedly the really expensive ones are the ones in Iron League. Like, if you have an account in Iron League, it's like the lowest league you can get to. Supposedly those accounts are worth a lot, because people you have to really, like, have a crappy MMR to get down to Iron League. For some reason, those are coveted accounts that people want. I guess because you start from the very bottom and then climb your way up instead of starting at, like, silver. Or if you're really good in the League of Legends can tell, maybe you start at gold. I don't know what the highest league you could start at is, but I assume it's gold, probably. Maybe platinum. But good on Riot for cracking down on boosting accounts, because it is really crappy for, you know, players that are playing in those leagues like bronze, silver, even, you know, iron. And they got these like challenger master rank players playing on Smurf accounts, just completely demolishing these players that they've got, like, I don't know, probably 5,000 hours in the game on. Probably even more than that. It just makes playing the game, makes matchmaking even worse at those ranks. So it's good that they're cracking down on that. It seems like that's the, like, era, the time we're in right now is the time where these companies need to actually start cracking down on nefarious actors in their games. Because it's every game. Every game has them. Another bat there. Gotta get a food buff after this. It's been a pretty chill day in the Plaguelands. Not too bad. Haven't had any scary situations yet. Hopefully I didn't jinx myself there. I should probably go out of my way to get this guy defeated, because he's just creeping around waiting for me to not be looking. Yeah, we'll hunt him down here. Need 5 more plague bats. We'll make sure we get that completed. And then maybe we'll focus on some worms. And then once we have that completed, we can then start taking flights to Light's Hope Chapel and deal with all the mobs around there. We don't really have much to do on this side of the map anymore. We'll have to watch out. Everything up around there is like around our level, 55, 56, 57. This is a terrible mob to get this debuff on you. Say you want to... Yeah, you can't use Runecloth Bandage. I wonder if Health Pot works. I think I checked. Pretty sure Health Pot works with this debuff. Here, we'll try one. Damn it, I hate that add-on now. I don't really hate the add-on. I just don't like that it never... Sometimes it doesn't work. Like that you can't collect things in your bags. So yeah, we got healed there. So you can health pot. I think we checked that before. But I couldn't use heavy Runecloth Bandage or anything like that with this. We can try it, whatever. Burn a bandage. Alright. What the heck? Never... Oh, we could heal, but once the bile tick goes off, then it interrupts the Runecloth heal. So you can actually heal. What the heck is up with that? With this debuff? It's just you can't regen health, that's it? It's actually not that big of a deal. It's not as scary as I thought it would be. Oh, this guy's just missing all of our hits. That's the thing about WoW when you're fighting mobs in hardcore. You know, you could fight a mob and it's easy, you're hitting him every time, and then next thing you know, you're fighting a mob and everything you do is just missing. And then the fight gets actually pretty damn close. with this one. Didn't get the debuff there, though, so that's good. It says we're in combat. Nice route. It does block you eating food, though. We can't eat food with that debuff. That's weird how Runecloth Bandage works, but... Well, it works for a few seconds, but eating food doesn't. A few more to go. 4 more plague bats. And we can turn this quest in. Probably won't hit level 58 today, but we got a few bars. It's amazing how long this grind is. 60. Like, you barely get any XP from just fighting mobs around your level. If you compare it to Mist of Pandaria, you know, like the final level, like, yeah, it takes a while, but not even close to these levels in vanilla. And we're also benefiting from rested XP. And it's still it's still not much at all. See if we can find some more bats around here. Get some runts. Mostly just runts. If we want to find bats, we'll have to go a little deeper. Maybe we can go down here. Find a few. Like, just getting a bar has taken us over 30 minutes. We're not going that fast, but we are, you know, consistently fighting mobs. I'm not, like, cleaving or anything like that, but... to make sure we don't get feared into anything. I've also seen a lot of clips of people die to this fallen warrior here. They see, like, this fallen warrior on the road, and they're like, what is this? And they click on it, and he spawns and kills them. I've seen that quite a few times as a death. It's such a sad death, too, because they played their character for over 7 days in game time, and just to die to something like that is kind of sad. It's just a knowledge-based death. I didn't really even know about that until I seen the clips either. Something I could have fallen for, but usually I don't click things unless I look it up. But somebody could get confused and think, you know, maybe this is for loot or something. Like, maybe some loot on the body that I'm getting here. Just like those other things in the little red pools that spawn a bunch of elites, and in Western Plaguelands. Didn't know about that either. And there we go, our final bat. Our final plague bat. Probably some more bats we have to fight. Higher level bats. Turn this in, see how much XP we get from the quest. It's got to be like, I don't know, maybe hopefully 5k. Kind of happy we're done with these bats after this. Fears can be deadly. Yeah, Warhammer Dawn of War got a definitive edition. I believe that's an Warhammer RTS game. Never played it. I'm a big fan of RTS, so. No, and Warhammer's badass. I honestly think Warhammer had quite the influence on StarCraft. You know, with space. Well, they have Space Marines, right? And the Marine in StarCraft looks a lot like a Space Marine from Warhammer. That's why I think they could probably mix with the World of Warcraft universe with StarCraft. Could you imagine that was the plan the entire time? Because they kind of have orcs and all that in the Warhammer universe. So why the heck can't they do that in like with the Blizzard style with StarCraft and World of Warcraft? Maybe they could actually bring both universes together. That would be so cool, man. There's a UMS for StarCraft 2 where you can play, you know, the Warcraft 3 races against the StarCraft 2, you know, races as well. It's like a mix. I think they try to balance it as best they can.
You are a shining example of decency,
5800,
person. It has
not bad.
been long since I have felt the blood of heroes pump through my veins. Your acts of bravery are uplifting.
There we go. 5,800 right there. That's quite a bit. Now back to slaying grubs. Probably gonna get this debuff soon, and we'll just focus on slaying maggots for the rest of this session. Clearly have to move over here now, so next episode we'll take a flight to Light's Hope Chapel so we avoid all of the running around and a chance of pulling too much stuff. You don't have to go through Corrin's Crossing, which is kind of deadly. Can avoid that. Did we get any meat? No, we didn't get any meat. We didn't get a debuff either, so we'll take it. Debuff is on. No meat again. Well, it's good. It's rough. I thought the drop rate was high, but I guess not. Good thing about these grubs, though, they don't hit very hard. Actually, a pretty damn good mob to fight. Other than the debuff, right? Don't hit very hard. Give a decent amount of XP. Just give you a nasty debuff. Yeah, Gamescom this weekend on the 19th. We'll get to see what's going on with the Midnight expansion. And the player housing. That's a big part of it. Hope they do a good job with player housing. Supposedly it's looking pretty good, but you never know. Right? A lot of these people that say, well, the people that I've heard say it, they could be getting paid by Blizzard, right? They're not going to say, yeah, it's terrible, it sucks. Right? But I think it's probably going to be all right. It'll be a fun... I don't know how fun they can make it. If there's like mini games you can play in your house, like board games, or like, I don't know, they can make it sort of interactive and like an actual fun place to hang out without it, you know, taking away from the world. Like, you don't want people hanging out in their homes instead of hanging out in main cities like Orgrimmar or just the main city of the expansion. I forget what it's called in War Within. But you want to keep that aspect in the game. That was scary. Kind of surrounded here. As long as it doesn't turn into Warlords of Draenor 2.0, then it should be fine. These bats are dangerous, man. Sometimes they like to go for a run. The dogs are the same way. Everything's spawned again. But yeah, I've heard good things about it. We'll see. I'll see what it's like on Gamescom. You shouldn't be able to talk and trade chat if you're in the house, I think. Right? Or any world chat should be off limits in your home. You really should only be able to talk with people in your house, I guess. Could end up being, you know, a little nefarious. Watch out. Who knows? I'm just kidding. I don't think that'll happen. The only people who play this game nowadays is like, it's mostly adults. It's not true, though. I've seen some kids playing retail with their dad. There's this content creator. I forget his name. But he makes like wholesome content of like doing Mythic Plus with his kids. Just pretty challenging content. And him and his family, they do like Mythic Plus dungeons together, and the commentary is pretty funny. They really go in on their dad, who's like an older gamer. That's awesome though when your kids enjoy the same hobbies that you do. It's sort of rare, I think. Oh my gosh. You get so lucky, man. I'm telling you, like, they always creep up close, but never close enough. Like, we're just high enough level to stay away. Look around here. It seems like we're kind of safe. So all it takes is us to pull like 2 mobs in a fight, and it's a pretty tough fight. Like, we might have to use retail or a potion, most likely. I think we can handle 2 mobs, but could get unlucky and get wrecked. Or pull a 3rd. If we pull a 3rd, then yeah, we're in a lot of trouble, I think. But we got a little target dummy we can use, just in case. Kind of run away here. Wait for this putrid bile to fall off before we can eat. I'll show you guys here that it doesn't heal. It's gonna fall off now though, and then we'll be able to heal. But yeah, if we're eating it, just doesn't work with that putrid bile on us. Yeah, I think I'm not that hyped for the player housing, to be honest. I don't think it'll be that awesome. The only time I think player housing is cool is when it's actual real estate in the game, not just some instanced place where you can be like, "Hey, do you want to come to my place so I can show my stuff off to you?" Like I don't know. Like it's way it's better when it's like actual real estate and you're like, "Oh, this is this guy's house in the game." I think that's just so much better. They have to add like a lot of mini games and make it an actual place for people like want to go to and just have a little bit of fun. Oh my gosh. You can see that little dog there. I'm gonna start like dealing with these before we like take on the maggots. The last thing I want is like us to pull like a mob, the maggot end this, and then die. Yeah, I wonder what the average age is of a WoW player. I'm guessing like late 20s, early 30s. And it's just going to keep going up, I think, over time. They're trying to bring... But I think you might see a surge in younger players just because they've played with their parents, right? Like, I've played in guilds with people who played with their parents, like, way back in the day. So I assume that'll be, like, a common thing. So maybe there will be, like, a resurgence, like, a younger generation playing the game in the future. And they're clearly trying to do that, I think. But I think MMOs just aren't as popular as they were when I was growing up. And the reason why MMOs were so popular when I was younger is because they were new, right? It's sort of like the Battle Royale and the MOBA when it first came out. Anything that's like a new game, it has its like hype period, which is like 5 to 10 years. And then after that, it kind of gets overtaken by a newer style of game. I don't know what I guess the open world sandbox style games are now like all the craze, right? They're like the game that the younger generation likes, like Minecraft, Roblox. Supposedly there's like a surge, like this game called Rust that I used to play like a long time ago. It's a survival-based sandbox style game. Very unforgiving. Like you die, people take your stuff. You can blow up your base, take all your loot. Like pretty unforgiving game. It's supposedly getting pretty popular on console ever since they released it on console. And it's got quite the younger player base playing the game now. And it's one of those games that's hard to play as an older person because if you log off, you're just going to get offline raided, and then you just lose your stuff. Like everything, like you put in 10 hours of building your base over the weekend, and then some guy just offline raids you. I guess as an older person, the way you could like sort of play that game is you join like a clan, and then players have shifts. So there's always like somebody online playing, protecting the base. So it's a fun game though, man. It's like one of the best survival games I've ever played, to be honest. I'd say it's the best survival game I ever played. Rust is an amazing game. Especially when you do an online raid where like the team's there, they're defending, and you're trying to like C4 their base and take all their loot. And then when you get raided, it's really intense because you know if you die here, like there goes all your progress. And it's a gun-based. It's an FPS style game. Players get like AKs and SMGs, rocket launchers, C4. You can drive helicopters, boats, cars, horses. There's fishing in the game. You can get electricity and power for your base. There's like so much things you can do. There's monuments you go to, and there's like codes you have to crack to get the good loot from it. So it's like a sort of like a little raid. They have monuments out in the ocean. They're like oil rigs. And you fly out there, and there's like NPCs that are protecting it that are pretty decent. They can shoot pretty damn well. So there's like points on the map where players want to go to, and then so not only do you have to deal with those NPCs, like another group could fly in on their helicopter, and then like it's a fight to the death. It's an amazing game. Like people get very. I got addicted to it. I probably have over 1,000 hours in it. Me and my friends would play like all day. Like non-stop. A lot of farming. And sometimes you get in fights with some friends, like you're out there farming, you were farming, they just log in and then they take some stuff like an AK or a gun, and they go out and just get killed and lose it. And they barely farmed. I'm gonna try to get out of here. That was a pet peeve of mine. Because you should earn your stuff before you use it. You shouldn't like take people's stuff that they earned and then just go and lose it. You're kind of like a like a liability to the team almost. You know, almost like a parasite. That's what it's kind of how I look at it. This was just back. It was just some random person we didn't even know. Like, I think it was like just an online friend of somebody, and like he would just let him in our base. he would just die and lose our stuff, and I was like, okay, this is a little much. And he wouldn't go out and farm, like it back. He'd just go and lose it. Like, I don't know, it was weird. Disrespect, you know what I mean? But it's an amazing game, Rust, if you're into hardcore punishing games like that. That's why I kind of like WoW hardcore. I think this game isn't really meant for hardcore, though. Like, WoW hardcore is cool, but it's a little too punishing. Like, losing 8 days for, like, 10 days worth of play is, I don't know, it's a little too much. If I died, I'd be devastated. I probably wouldn't play hardcore for a while. Most likely. We could run by this guy. Just looking for some worms. We have 14 minutes left on this debuff. And it's just a classic, you know, crappy hardcore. Like, hardcore's, it's just a tough game. It's a hard game mode to really enjoy, because if you die to a DC death, it's like the worst thing ever. But it's just the nature of the game, right? And people just are like, whatever, we'll play again. But it's exhilarating in the moments where you almost die. Like, you don't get a feeling like that in many games. Like, in any game. That's what makes hardcore unique. It's a unique gameplay mode for really any game. Because losing everything is it's an exhilarating moment. You know, if you're almost gonna die. And when you do die, it's devastating. Like, you don't really feel emotions like that in other games where the penalty of death is it's just whatever, right? You lose durability to your armor, stuff like that. I think death should be punishing in games. Not all games, but it really does. But you have to balance about how punishing it is. It shouldn't feel like... Depends on the game, but it shouldn't feel like whatever, I died, I'll just die again. Depends on the... Unless you're supposed to die in the game, it's like meant to happen. But there is a way to balance it. I think this game Tibia did a great job with it. Like, losing like one piece of loot, or losing a blessing that you have to pay gold for. So losing gold is kind of an interesting. It's punishing, you know. Also, losing XP, I think, is another thing as well in Tibia. Yeah, this is how it is. It's so, I haven't played in a long time, but what happens is you have a blessing to protect your gear, and that costs gold to get the blessing. And you have to travel around to get it. It's quite, so not only do you lose gold, you lose the time it takes to get the blessings, and then you lose XP if you die. It's guaranteed. You can't protect that. So it is pretty damn punishing. Losing experience, progression on your character, and gold. It's pretty punishing. And I think that would be good. An interesting server style in this game. Could you imagine, like, you die, you go down to level 40, and you lose your loot instead of getting, like, completely annihilated. I think that would be better than going to 0. Right? Like, losing a day or two, like, of leveling, I think that's legit. Like, they should make a server like that, because it is a little too punishing losing, 7 days of leveling. Right? Especially if you want to experience hardcore endgame. Just want to make sure we're kind of safe here. We're okay. Because I don't know how those guys just, like, say, all right, we go again. Like, here we go, another 8 days of like 7 days of leveling, or 6, however fast they go. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, oops, forgot about that. It doesn't work. We're gonna take a break now. I think that was pretty good. We got like 9 meats. We'll get the rest next episode. We will probably want to repair here quick.
I'm listening.
And then we'll probably head over to Lights Hope Chapel and
What do you require?
take a flight out of here. There we go.
What is it?
Repair our gear, sell some junk. Keep the wolf meat. We'll also need to buy... Actually need to get food. I wonder if you can get food in Lights Hope Chapel. Find that out. Yeah, guys, that is going to be the end of today's episode. Next episode, we'll be back in the Plaguelands, farming again, getting some quests done. But, as always, thanks for watching. Keep your heads up. Later.